Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are diving straight into the ultimate human quest, the search for a truly fulfilling, meaningful, and long life. We're unpacking the absolute best insights from Ikigai, the Japanese secret to a long and happy life. And we're going to break down exactly how certain populations outlive, outsmart, and outsmile the rest of us. If you've ever felt like you're just kind of going through the motions, well, you are in exactly the right place.
So, let me ask you, what is your reason for being? Yeah, it's a pretty heavy question, isn't it? But seriously, is this something you've actually ever stopped to think about? I think most of us suspect there's a higher purpose out there for us, but in the absolute chaos of modern life, it's so easy to feel empty or stressed, or just stuck on autopilot. We wake up, we do our jobs, we scroll our phones, we go to sleep, wash, rinse, repeat. But your Ikigai, which is a Japanese concept that essentially translates to the reason you get up in the morning, that is the antidote to that emptiness. Defining it is what brings actual happiness, satisfaction, and profound meaning to your life. Here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll examine the modern existential void. Then, we'll uncover the secrets of the blue zones, explore the psychological power of flow, look into building true anti-fragility, and finally, we'll pinpoint your personal Ikigai.
All right, let's jump into section 1, the modern existential void. We are facing a pretty stark contrast in how we live today. On one side, you've got this sedentary autopilot lifestyle. And honestly, it accelerates aging. I mean, chronic stress can literally turn your hair gray. It leads to cardiovascular issues, hypertension, and all those imbalances that come from mindless snacking. We simply cannot live in a perpetual state of emergency. But on the flip side, we have an active Ikigai. The body and mind are profoundly connected, right? So to slow down the aging of our neurons, which, by the way, actually starts in our 20s, we need intellectual workouts. We need daily curiosity to learn something new and to practice mindfulness so we stay grounded in the present moment. You really have to stop acting like a passenger on autopilot and start actively driving your life. So how do we actually make that shift? Let's move to section 2, Secrets of the Blue Zones. We're looking at the 5 blue zones. These are the geographical regions where people just consistently live the longest. In Okinawa, Japan, they focus heavily on vegetables, tofu, and this fierce, rock-solid community support. Over in Sardinia, Italy, they're pairing their vegetables with wine and incredibly tight-knit communities. You see that same kind of longevity among the active Adventists in Loma Linda, California, the hardworking 90-year-olds down in Costa Rica's Nicoya Peninsula, and the islanders of Icaria, Greece. So what's the common denominator here? It's mostly plant-based diets, continuous natural movement, having a clear purpose, and forming unbreakable social ties. Now, when it comes to their daily diet, there is one absolutely crucial number you need to remember: 80%. The Okinawans have this practice where they eat until they are exactly 80% full, and then they completely stop. The very second you start to feel full, that is your body's signal to push the plate away. It's a brilliant, time-tested habit that prevents all that overeating and sluggishness that really plagues so much of the modern world. But hey, Ikigai isn't just about what you put on your plate. It's about how you engage with the world. Let's shift our focus inward to section 3, the power of flow. The psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi defines flow as the pleasure, delight, creativity, and process when we are completely immersed in life. You know that feeling, right? Have you ever been so totally absorbed in doing something that your sense of time just vanished? That is flow. On the flip side, when you're stuck doing something you hate, 5 minutes feels like an hour. To truly live your Ikigai, you need to deliberately seek out activities that pull you into this optimal state. And here's the best part. It's not just reserved for elite athletes or artists. You can literally find microflow in totally mundane tasks. You can find a rhythmic joy in just washing the dishes by hand. So, how do we actively get there? Here are 3 core strategies. First, choose a difficult task. Not impossible, just difficult. It needs to stretch your abilities, but still align with your skills so you don't just throw your hands up in frustration. Second, you gotta have a clear, concrete objective. You need to know exactly what the rules are and where you're headed. And third, concentrate on a single task. We really have to emphasize this. Multitasking is a total myth. When you think you're multitasking, your brain is actually just task switching, which studies consistently show is incredibly ineffective. Honing in on one single thing is arguably the biggest secret to achieving flow. And if you want a highly practical tool to enforce that single tasking, here it is. 25 minutes. We're talking about the Pomodoro technique. Grab a timer, set it for 25 minutes of pure, distraction-free work on one single objective, and then take a 5-minute rest.
Committing to this forces you to actually put down the phone, close those 50 extra browser tabs, and allow your brain to submerge into that state of flow. Now, of course, life isn't just a smooth ride of flow states and eating tofu. Things go wrong. So let's look at section 4, building true anti-fragility.
This is such a fascinating distinction. We're always told we need to be resilient, but resilience just means you take a hit, you resist the shock, and you stay exactly the same. Anti-fragility goes way beyond that. An anti-fragile system actually gets better when exposed to shocks, volatility, and stress. It's like a muscle tearing during a heavy workout only to heal back much stronger. We don't want to just barely survive a setback. We want to use it as actual fuel to improve. So how do we build this? First up, create redundancies. Don't rely on just one single salary. Maybe find a way to make some income from a hobby. Build multiple strong friendships instead of leaning entirely on just one person. Second, bet conservatively but take small, calculated risks. Take chances that have a great upside without exposing yourself to total ruin. Basically, ask yourself, how much can I actually afford to lose? And finally, and this is a big one, get rid of the things that make you fragile. What is actively generating losses for you? It could be toxic people or terrible habits like keeping junk food in your pantry. You've got to cut away the fragility.
Which brings us to the culmination of our explainer. Section 5, finding your personal Ikigai. Japanese psychology gives us some brilliant frameworks for this, specifically something called Morita therapy. The core principle is surprisingly simple. Accept your emotions without trying to wrestle them into submission. Don't fight your anxiety or that feeling of emptiness. Just accept that those feelings are simply a desire for a more meaningful life. Instead of trying to force your emotions to change, just focus on doing what you should be doing right now, in the present moment. Your feelings will naturally catch up as a result of your actions. It's all about being present and letting your purpose unfold through action.
And that brings us to the ultimate framework of Ikigai. True purpose lives at the exact intersection of 4 distinct pillars: what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs from you, and what you can get paid for. Think about it. If you have what you love and what you're good at, you've got passion, but maybe no wealth. If you have what the world needs and what pays the bills, you have a vocation, but maybe no joy. Your Ikigai is that perfect bullseye right in the center. Finding it takes deep self-reflection and, honestly, a whole lot of experimentation. Now, while you are experimenting to find that bullseye, the authors uncovered some amazing daily actions from the longest living people that you can steal right now. Never stop learning. Give your brain that workout. Nurture your friendships and actually be part of a community. Smile. It literally reduces stress. Live an unhurried life, remembering that haste really does make waste. Do some gentle exercise, whether that's working in a garden, doing some yoga or tai chi, and above all else, pursue your passions relentlessly. Never give up on them. As we wrap up, I want you to consider the author's fundamental definition of Ikigai. They call it the happiness of always being busy. Now wait, they don't mean that frantic, stressed out corporate world kind of busy. They mean the joyful flow state busy. The kind of busy where you're deeply engaged in things that align perfectly with your passions, your skills, your community, and your purpose. It's the pure joy of actually having a reason to wake up. So I want to leave you with this. Take a hard look at your own life, your habits, your daily routines. You've got the toolkit now. You know the secrets of the blue zones, the mechanics of flow, and the 4 pillars of Ikigai. So, what is your first step tomorrow morning? Are you going to hit the snooze button and drift back onto autopilot? Or will you wake up with purpose, ready to track down your Ikigai? The choice is entirely yours. Keep learning, keep experimenting, and thanks for exploring with us.